The word is in, the Atlanta Falcons and their defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich received fines from the NFL over the data privacy breach that led to that fake phone call to Shedeur Sanders during the 2025 NFL Draft. After that incident, it was reported that Coach Ulbrich's role in this whole situation was being investigated. And now the verdict is in. The NFL ruled to fine both the Atlanta Falcons and Coach Ulbrich. The league fined the Falcons $250,000 and also handed out a fine to Ulbrich for $100,000. Apparently, Coach Ulbrich's son got Shedeur's phone number that was only given to NFL coaches. It was a Boost mobile phone, brand new and exclusively for the draft. Again, nobody else had this number except 4 NFL coaches evaluating if they should sign him. The Falcons DC Jeff Ulbrich is now being held accountable for his son accessing private information to get his number, then using that number to orchestrate a phone call, posing as a New Orleans Saints executive, telling Shedeur they would draft him. A very classless move, also putting New Orleans into this drama. You know, the Saints, that's Atlanta's big rival. Now, although I'm not happy with that powdered pelican, Gil Benson, as an owner, their administration, and the whole franchise, right is right and wrong is wrong. And I just want to know, why did Jax bring the Saints into this? Why didn't he just say he was calling from the Falcons? Yeah, when they called Shedeur, they lied and said it was the Saints calling him, not the Falcons.
Hey, is this Shedeur? Hey, this is Mickey Loomis here, the GM of the New Orleans Saints. How you doing? This is Mickey Loomis here, GM of the Saints.
How you doing?
Good, how are you, man?
Good, waiting.
Yeah, we have. It's been a long wait, man. We're gonna take you with our next pick right here, man.
Let's be legendary.
Hey, but you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer, man. Sorry about that.
Yeah, they told Shedeur he was calling from New Orleans. The whole thing was messy and also caused many to question what other private sensitive information did the coach's son have access to, especially considering that the fine is for, quote, failing to prevent the disclosure of confidential information distributed to the club in advance of the NFL draft. Yeah, once again, they confirmed that phone number was given out to coaches only, and the league acknowledged it was confidential information.
All right, a PSA to all of the kids, young adults, everyone out there. Do not prank call NFL draft prospects.
That's right, because you will get caught and it will result in some pretty hefty fines. Yeah. You know, the Atlanta Falcons right now, if you haven't heard already, are at the center of a prank call controversy that happened over the weekend. Our Maria Martin is now joining us live from Falcons headquarters in Flowery Branch. So Maria, we know you learned some new information today. How were the Falcons punished by the NFL?
Well, Faith and Jonathan, you know, after a really successful NFL draft by the Falcons, I'm pretty sure this is the last thing that they anticipated that they would be talking about. Their defensive coordinator, Jeff Ulbrich, issuing a very public and emotional apology today here from the team's facility about his son, Jax, who was involved in a prank call during NFL draft weekend. Jax actually obtained Shedeur Sanders' phone number from his father's unlocked iPad. He and his friends then went on to act as Saints general manager Mickey Loomis, and they pretended like they were drafting Shedeur in that moment. The good news in this scenario is that Shedeur ultimately did get drafted in the 5th round by the Cleveland Browns. You asked about what the punishment was. Well, the NFL is sending down a fine of $250,000 to the Falcons, $100,000 to Jeff Ulbrich. And during his apology this morning, he also made sure to mention that he is very sorry to both Shedeur and his family.
First of all, I'd like to publicly apologize to Shedeur and the Sanders family for what occurred. Second of all, I want to publicly apologize to Mr. Blank, Terry Fontenot, Raheem Morris, and the entire Falcons organization. My actions of not protecting confidential data were inexcusable. My son's actions were absolutely inexcusable. And for that, we are both deeply sorry.
Jeff was both honest and emotional during that time there with the media this morning. And he also made sure to let us know that he was first made aware of this after the NFL draft weekend was over. And his first course of action was to talk to Jax and make sure that he and Jax could issue their own apology to Shedeur and his family. That includes his father, Deion Sanders, who we all know is the Colorado head coach. He's an NFL Hall of Famer, but he also happens to be a part of the Falcons Ring of Honor. Jeff also told us they are not appealing this fine by the NFL in any way.
Our Maria Martin live for us at Flowery Branch. Thank you so much for the new information.
Many people call for the Falcons to fire Jeff because he couldn't be trusted, but so far this is the first punishment served up to the defensive coordinator. He's got to pay a $100,000 fine, and the Falcons will have to shell out $250,000. So that's a total of $350,000. I wonder now, after all the giggles, was the data breach and imposter behavior worth this much money? Yeah, was this worth it to the coach, his son, and the organization? Honestly, I don't think the fine was high enough. Jeff is one of the highest paid DCs in the league. His salary at least $1.6 million. So I think his fine should have been $250,000, and the NFL should have made Arthur pay $1 million. Why? Because Arthur Blank, the Falcons owner, he's got it. And if you put a high price tag on it, moving forward, you would have management, administration, everyone a part of their organization, making sure they safeguard private information. Because again, we don't know what else his son gained access to while tampering through private NFL data that he shouldn't have had access to in the first place. A $100,000 fine is something they will give a player, so a coach should be held to a higher standard. $100,000 is not enough. The fine to Jeff should be $250,000, and the NFL should have made the Falcons pay $1 million, and that money should have been given to Shedeur, the person the damages were caused to. The Falcons are acting like they're accepting accountability, but $250,000 is nothing for that organization. They'll find a player that in a heartbeat, with way less resources than they have with their billionaire owner. The Falcons released a statement on Sunday describing how Jax Ulbrich, the 21-year-old son of defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich, came across a draft contact phone number for Sanders off an iPad while visiting his parents' home and wrote the number down to later conduct a prank call. Basically caping for the coach, acting like he had nothing to do with what was going on when he did, because it's his duty to guard confidential information, and he failed to do that. But according to that previous statement, the Falcons said the coach was not aware of his son's premeditated actions until after the fact. Now, they have released another response to the NFL fines. The Falcons released a statement saying, "We appreciate the NFL's swift and thorough review of last week's data exposure and the event that transpired due to it. We were proactive in addressing the situation internally and cooperated fully with the league throughout the process." They went on to say they accept the discipline levied to Coach Jeff Ulbrich and the organization. They wrote, "We are confident in our security policies and practices and will continue to emphasize adherence to them with our staff, whether on or off premises." Additionally, the Ulbrich family is working with the organization to participate in community service initiatives in relation to last week's matter. Community service? Really? What do you mean community service? What community is he about to serve that's going to make up for the damages towards Shedeur? These people are a complete joke.
It's an incredible embarrassment. That 21-year-old kid, Jax, should have had his ass whipped, number one.
21-year-old man.
21-year-old, yeah, right. He should have his ass whipped, number one. Number two, I mean, it's like I wanted to refrain from putting him on screen like I told you the other day, but that was, I didn't know when you were talking about it the other day, Lewis, that the dude had put it out on social media. I had no idea. I knew we knew the story, but I'd never seen the video. So I'm like, this idiot actually went out there and did it. He filmed him. He had himself filmed doing it. I mean, no regard for Shedeur, no regard for his father. No regard for any kind of decency or any kind of decorum. It's really, really sad. I think all of these fines are absolutely positively appropriate. And as far as I'm concerned, he should be, Jax I'm talking about, should be put on Front Street because of what,
So the 21-year-old son who did all of this isn't being held accountable at all. His father is going to have to pay $100,000. Although I don't think that's enough money, I'm sure their family isn't happy about having to lose $100,000 because of his stupid son. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. Is this punishment enough? The Falcons have to shell out $250,000. Their DC is going to have to shell out $100,000. Tell me what you think about this below. I want to thank everybody who support this channel. You can show your support as well. The link to PayPal is below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel and don't forget to like and share.